Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and I'm here with another Scream review. Yes, I'm here to review MTV's Scream the TV series, episode 4. Now, of course, if you've not seen this episode, please check it out because this review may contain spoilers. That being said, let's get right into this review. First off, obviously, a lot of these characters are dealing with the major consequences of what led to this moment, which of course was Emma's decision to pick and choose which character should live or die. If you didn't watch last week's episode, spoilers once again, but essentially in episode 3, Emma was given an ultimatum by Ghostface, which was an interesting plot point, I might add, to ask her which character should end up dying and who he should be focusing on. She obviously didn't understand the full, obviously context of what was really going on, but essentially she had to choose between the good girl, the bad girl. She accidentally chose the bad girl. I don't know why. I guess because the actress who plays the bad girl is so extraordinarily hot. MTV doesn't want to get rid of her just yet, so I don't know. It is what it is. But that being said, back into the segue of real time, obviously the good girl died. I think the character's name was Lily. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. They all seem like the same kind of person to me on this show, and that's not me trying to sound like a douche. It just does. Like, every character just feels like the same character done again. The only ones that really stand out is like, okay, Noah stands out. Okay, Audrey stands out. And then the really hot chick stands out, and the only reason she stands out is because she's like the hottest one of them all, but whatever. Anyways, of course, we're dealing with the consequences. A lot of people in the police force, especially of this small town, and the rest of, I guess, the mayor, what have you, believe that Tyler is the legitimate killer of these specific crimes. They basically want to just, stamp, sweep everything under the rug and be like, okay, here, this guy did the whole thing, whatever. And, which is kind of weird how they kind of play that out. It's kind of like, this show doesn't have a Dewey, but they made the police force just as useless as the character of Dewey from the Scream franchise. And that's me not trying to bash David Arquette. I like David Arquette from the Scream movies, but let's face it, he wasn't the best, he wasn't the greatest character. I mean, like there's a reason why there exists a Doofy. There's a reason why he exists, and that's why, because he's not the greatest cop in the world. He's not really the greatest character in the world. That's why Doofy exists. Which also brings up an interesting point, because me and Paul, I want to say a couple days ago, we had an interesting podcast together, and we were discussing Scream the TV series. Of course, if you didn't listen to that, definitely go check it out. I don't think he's uploaded at this point, but definitely stay tuned to his channel. It's an interesting podcast where we get into all things San Diego Comic-Con. But in that episode, we discussed what Scream the TV series should have been, and we threw out a whole bunch of ideas, and one of them was an interesting TV series that should have been spinned off onto MTV, which was Doofy, the TV series. I don't know why, but the both of us feel like, couldn't that have been a show? I wish that was a show. Like, someone who agrees with us, please comment below, because every time I watch this show, and every time I see the first Scary Movie, I'm just like, why didn't this dude have his own movie? Or, like, why didn't he, like, spin off into something else? Because that character was so stupid and funny. It was ridiculous. It was over-exaggeratingly awesome. And I loved it, and if I'm just saying, if that existed right now, I would love that show, like MTV's, like Doofy, the TV series. It's like, what could that show ever be? But it's just funny that it was just existed. But that being said, back into the show, obviously every character is dealing with the death of this one character in their own special way. That's another thing I have, a real big gripe with, is like, why do the teenage characters in the show deal with death so weird? It's like, first, everyone feels bad. They're throwing out parties. They have big murals. Second, they just sweep it under the rug. They don't really care. Whatever. And then after that, they have the fucking girl, and everybody's like sitting in their rooms crying, listening to, generic MTV music. It's like, the weird vibes I get from watching these kids like deal with death is so odd and off-putting. It's just like, come on, let's be realistic here. I mean, like, Like, did anybody have a funeral for these people? Like, the one girl had a funeral. What happened to the other girls? Did they just, like, cremate those chicks? Like, what the fuck happened? I don't know. It's really weird how these kids deal with death, but it is what it is. Once again, I guess the major downfall I have with it is because the title of the show is titled... The title of this episode, rather, is titled Aftermath. When I see that, and when I think that, the first thing that pops into my head as to what I expect this episode to be is the aftermath of what happened prior, which was Emma dealing with the consequences of what her decision meant. That's what I personally want to see, and MTV really didn't deliver on that. Like that, and I think a lot of that has to go with either, I guess, the writers not doing a great job in writing the character of Emma, and it just goes back to the same thing I stated in the first episode, that the character of the actress of Emma is not a good actress. She doesn't have the ability to emote, which is something you need in moments like this. Like, it's like Aftermath. The first half of this episode is like, them sitting in a fucking bed crying, and then she's, it's just, I want to see some consequences, man. I want to see Ghostface shitting in your ear on, like, why you made this decision. This is your decision you made. This is what you deal with. You're the one who's terrible because I didn't kill this person, you killed this person, it's your fault. And it's like, you don't really get that from this episode. And you know what Ghostface does throughout this fucking episode is send mail to Emma. It's like, what? You're the killer of the show and you're sending mail? Why are you sending mail? Like, who has time to fucking send mail? Like, who the fuck does that? I don't have time to fucking go to the mail office and fucking grab packages and tape and stamps. I don't have time for that shit. I'm a killer. I'm a fucking psychotic asshole with a mask and a fucked up face. And I gotta go kill someone in exaggerated moments. It's just weird. It's just very, very odd. And I just wish this show went deeper into the dramatics instead of staying, very, standard. They're keeping this tone of this MTV teenage lovey-dovey kind of bullshit, which I'll get into further, of course, because a lot of that has to do with the ending of the episode, which I'll get into. But after that whole thing, obviously we get into more exaggerated stuff. We get those two male characters, which, to this day, I still don't understand what their purpose on this show, like, what do they do? I don't know what it is. And I asked in my last review for someone who watches this show to freaking comment below and let me know what those characters' purposes are. What are they doing? My guess is this show has not fully explained that until I'm guessing this moment, or no one really fucking knows, and they're just bullshitting me. So, of course, comment below, let me know what the full, details are of these two characters. I just don't understand, and it annoys me every time, because, it's like, it's like, we're talking about money again, and then that other chick, fucking chick who died, it's like, what the fuck, why am I wasting time on this shit? What was, and why, how they, okay, they have the number of the mayor, what the mayor doing, what the fuck, is there, some kind of underground sex, underage porn sex ring going down? And I'll get to that in a second, and you'll find out why. Okay, later on in the episode, essentially, Emma gets mail from Ghostface, because why not? Ghostface is a completely useless killer. Instead of killing people like he should be, and taunting them over the phone, he's sending mail. But whatever. Okay, sure, texts get, annoying after a while, I know. Okay, sure, you get sick of writing LOL? Okay, fuck it. Send some fucking mail. You don't want to tweet? Send that fucking package. Whatever. Anyways, mail comes in. Emma gets this package, which is a yearbook to, Days of Future Past. I don't know. Anyways, there's various pictures, cutouts, I guess people that Ghostface killed or whatever. And then you see, Emma's father with his face scratched out. I don't know, whatever. I don't really care. I mean, I don't even know if I even care about the character of Emma to really understand what the fuck does the father mean in all of this. I don't know. It's really odd. But the fact is that Ghostface is, I guess, taunting her and trying to get her to see something. And I guess, over the course of this episode, Audrey decides to go with her, tag along, become, Batman and Robin, and go detect and find out what this Ghostface means, was Tyler Ghostface, all these various bullshit. They go and find, this abandoned hospital, and they discover a lot of things. They discover this surgery room. They discover Ghostface lair, which I guess is the surgery room. They find the chick's excuse me. They find the chick's God, I even forgot the girl's name. How sad is that? I don't even remember the first kill's name. Whatever. The girl's laptop. So and then Noah comes in, of course, because why not? And they're tagged along. They're trying to figure out what does this laptop mean. Emma doesn't want to take it with her. I don't know why. It's so stupid. But they find out that in this chick's laptop, apparently there was files in there that are very encrypted, and no one knows what they are. Okay, sure. Is this what the fucking good-looking dudes who can't act are talking about, and talking about money consistently? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, sure. One of them takes the files in a flash drive. Sure, they take it. They get the fuck out of there because someone's coming. The police are there. You know, shit goes down. Whatever. We transition from there into the ending of the episode, which is of course essentially Noah and Audrey decrypting, if you will, the fucking files that they found, and they only had one file out of the many files that was on that laptop. Who knows why? What was Ghostface doing with that laptop? And you know another really interesting thing? If those things existed in that one little spot in that hospital, how is it possible that the cops never discovered it? Like, there's a moment where the cop is like, okay, look, we went through up and down that hospital, we never found Tyler or anything. It's like, what? There's like blood all over the place. There's a fucking symbol of Ghostface mask. I don't know how he fucking got the stencil to do it, but whatever. He fucking put his fucking stamp on the door. There's a fucking dead pig on the fucking, floor. And then there's the fucking kid's fucking decapitated body that's decomposing, fucking Mama Bates style. And then you got the fucking laptop of the girl who was fucking in the first episode, who I can't remember her name, sorry, who died, and apparently has a whole bunch of very interesting files that can lead to somewhere, to possible arrests. And this is where I'm getting into what I think this really means. I don't know why, this is just my personal speculation, but let's get into this. Okay, the ending of the episode, of course, is them discovering what is in this file, and they discover it's apparently Emma and that one, one of the dudes, the one good-looking jock dude, having sex, and apparently it's Emma's first time. She's being de-virginized, which is always, I guess, why not have that on camera? I don't know. Anyways, they have that on camera, and apparently it accidentally gets leaked online and gets sent to everyone in town. And that's another really odd thing that I didn't really understand. Like, how is it possible that everyone in this one little town, like, has the same number? Like, how is it possible? Like, I get it. Okay, sure, it got leaked online. But how does everyone get it at once? I just found that weird. It's like, is this one little town consist of 90% teenagers and all of them know each other's numbers? It's really odd. But anyways, of course, they figure it out, they see it, they're like, oh shit, that's Emma, that's that girl from the coffee lounge, blah, 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 blah. And then, oh shit, she's getting laid, this dude's pounding her, whatever, all that shit goes down, terrible for her. And I really find it odd that MTV went in that direction. I know that MTV is a big fan of sex and the internet. They're a big fan of that, and they like to, really combine those two. And, freaking use that to their advantage. I understand that. But, I don't, it just kind of, like, this episode was going in a, fucking, I'm gonna be that person. But it actually went in a good direction for once. Like, episode 1, 2, and 3, they weren't that great of episodes. I wasn't a really big fan of it. Episode 1, I felt it had promise, but was crappy. Episode 2 was a little bit better. Episode 3, the last one, I was not a big fan of. I thought it was a bore fest. This episode, however, definitely picks up a little bit harsher, which I like. And then it just goes right down to the ground the second they do this whole sexy, virginized, tape that gets everywhere on the internet. Like, that's the part where I'm like, you had me, and then you just lost me immediately. It's just really odd. I don't know how you did it, but it fucking happened. I'm just saying, it's just, I've seen a lot of chicks, I've seen a lot of girls that I've known, and I went to school with, and I fucking, knew personally and shit, who fucking had sex, and then apparently, I don't know how, fucking their videos got leaked online, and then they were just destroyed. Like, you can't go back for it. You're getting shitted on a daily basis because everyone got to see you get fucked publicly, and they got leaked online. It was insane. That's like insane kind of pressure. That's insane kind of shit to go down. And they just use it like it's whatever. It's like, oh, hey, we found this file, and then accidentally, ironically, and, fucking illogically, it just gets leaked online, like, immediately. Like, how did that happen? Like, how is it possible that Noah did not have the foresight, the geek of the show, not have the foresight to know, like, oh, this shit could really fuck up something? And how is it possible it just got leaked super, like, fast like that? Like, I don't know. I really have zero idea how to conclude from there and to continue the show from there, but I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of the ending. I feel like if they just cut that out, I would have felt a lot better about this episode. It would have definitely been, like, almost a home run for me. But that being said, back to my personal speculation is that, okay, these two dudes want money. They have the number of the mayor, and they have the files from that one girl's camera. My guess is that what they were basically doing, I'm guessing, were having all their friends, all these teenage kids, record secretly themselves having sex, and then selling it to really overaged, perverted, child molester, pedophile kind of dudes for high pay grades, which is kind of weird. I don't know how that happened, because, there's the internet, but I guess, like, getting it for free not for free, but paying it for someone and then getting it and you grasp it without having it on the internet where you get fucked immediately by the FBI, then sure. So that's kind of like my speculation. Like, my guess is that these two dudes are associated with the mayor, I'm guessing, who I guess likes to pay these two dudes for having, sex tapes sent to him for high pays, I guess for like $1,000 each or something, of them having sex with their girlfriends or their friends or whatever. I don't know, for money. He gives them, like, I guess $1,000 each or something for, like, okay, here's money. Give me the tape. This is all, the lowdown. This is, you say something, I kill you kind of shit, or whatever. That's kind of like my personal spec. That's what I grab from it. That's kind of like what I'm grabbing. Because why would this girl who died in the first... I don't even remember her name, but had access to tapes of these chicks having sex with these dudes, unless they were using it for purposes. And that one dude who can't act, the one of the good-looking dudes who can't act, was specifically stating that he had all the files. So, I don't know. It's a real weird situation. I don't know what all that meant. I don't know what it specifically can go from there, but from what I grasped from the sneak peek for next week's episode, then I'm guessing that shit's going to go down with how this shit goes forward. I don't really understand where it can go. I'm not really looking forward to, I guess, the future of this. I don't know. Overall, there were things I did like. I liked pretty much everything that happened in the hospital. Like, everything that went into that one hospital sequence, I liked. Like, that was some good shit right there. Like, that was the first time where I was watching this fucking TV show where I was like, wow, this is fucking pretty good. Like, the last time I felt this way watching the show was, I guess, the ending to episode 2, where, like, Emma is, like, in her house alone, and, like, it actually feels like Scream for once. That was, like, the only time. This is the second time, so I like that. Everything else I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't like the ending. I don't like this whole accidentally leaking sex tapes online for some god-awful reason. I'm not a big fan of how Emma didn't deal with the consequences of what happened in episode 3. I'm still not big on those two dudes who I have no idea what their purpose is. And that's pretty much it. I just don't understand a lot of shit from this show. I guess because they're not really good at explaining things, or it takes them a long time to explain something. But that's personally how I feel. But overall, I guess I have to give this episode a good 5.5 out of 10. I think that's a decent conservative rating for this one episode. I like that one hospital. I have to admit, like, when I was watching that one hospital scene, I was like, oh shit, I'm actually in this show. Like, I'm into it. I'm in, like, that one scene where, like, they see Ghostface mask and they pull it off and the head falls down and shit, and I'm like, wow, you actually got me. I wasn't scared, but, like, I felt like this is what I want this show to be. This is what I want the rest of the episodes to be like. Not that fucking MTV bullshit where it's like, ooh, sex, internet, tweeting. You know, I don't want that. I want fucking, you know, the fucking carnage and the, you know, the scaries, you know, the pop-up. I don't know. It's just, it's a weird thing to explain if you're not already like a really hardcore horror fan, which I'm sure a lot of the fan base for the show isn't, because, based off my brief knowledge, majority of the fans of the show aren't, so it's kind of a weird thing. But that being said, decent episode, and I didn't like a lot of aspects about the episode, but it was a pretty decent episode overall, so I give it a good 5.5. That being said, after the episode, I wanted to discuss something about the series overall real quick and me reviewing it. I know a lot of people on YouTube, specifically viewers of my channel, really enjoyed my Scream reviews and really enjoyed, I guess, me bashing them or whatever. But overall, this is going to be my last episode review of Scream, the TV series. I'm sorry for those of you who actually liked my reviews for, you know, the show, but Episode 4 is definitely going to be the last episode I review. I just really fucking, I don't want to be, like, I'm surprised I got this far. Like, I really wasn't big on this show. Like yes, I was going to give it a chance, but, like, it's just not a show I'm really that into. It's not a show that I really, you know, want to watch on a daily basis. But, yeah, this is going to be the last episode I review. Now, will it be the last one I watch? I don't know, because after watching this episode, I really think I might check out future episodes. I don't know. I might keep watching, but I'm definitely not going to review anything. But, however, I'm not saying I am, because I don't know as of yet, but I might review the Season 1 finale of this show. So we'll see what happens. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed my Scream reviews. I'm surprised I got this far, but because I originally was going to do the first episode, but then I decided, fuck it, I'll just watch all the episodes. And then I saw episode 3, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stop right here. So that was kind of like my overall gist, but you never know. We'll see what happens. My mood, like, consistently changes every time I watch a new episode of this show, so we'll never know fully. It really depends on how, you know, this freaking show goes and what direction it ends up. But overall, let me know what you personally think. Do you want me to continue reviewing this show? If you don't, I understand. But if you do, if you're one of those people who really liked my prior reviews, then I might review the Season 1 finale, and I might continue to watch the show, but this is definitely going to be the last review as of right now. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you personally thought about Episode 4 in the comment section below. Definitely check out my last review, which I'll have definitely a card somewhere on this video to check out. Definitely check out my prior reviews, and of course, if you've not done so already, if you're a horror fan, definitely go back to my channel to check out my horror movie tag Q&A video. I hope you guys enjoy that as well, and this has been John 12.